Isn't it funny how trust is just an illusion? Vladimir Orlov muttered, his fingers dancing over the keyboard. His voice was smooth, almost hypnotic, like a magician preparing to unveil his greatest trick. Behind him, a dimly lit room pulsed with the glow of monitors, displaying cascading lines of code and fluctuating graphs. He paused, taking in the spectacle of his creation, Ethereal, a revolutionary new cryptocurrency. Or so he wanted everyone to believe. It all began in the bustling city of Driemore, a place where ambition thrived amidst the towering skyscrapers and neon signs. Vladimir, a self-proclaimed tech genius, had always been fascinated by the art of deception. His childhood in a rundown apartment had taught him two things. People believed what they wanted to believe, and desperation made them blind. Now he would use those lessons to build an empire, a digital mirage. Ethereal wasn't just a cryptocurrency. It was a promise. A promise of financial freedom, of breaking away from the shackles of traditional banking. Vladimir knew how to sell dreams, and he packaged Ethereal as the key to a utopian future. His promotional video was a masterpiece. It opened with sweeping shots of lush green fields and futuristic cities, narrated by a soothing voice that spoke of a decentralized world where you control your destiny. The tagline read, "Ethereal, money reimagined." Investors flocked in droves, mesmerized by the promise of exponential returns. But behind the sleek marketing and sophisticated algorithms lay nothing but smoke and mirrors. Ethereal's code was a hodgepodge of plagiarized snippets and nonsensical jargon, designed to dazzle but not deliver. The blockchain, the heart of any cryptocurrency, was nothing more than a glorified database with no real security. People don't want the truth, Vladimir often told himself. They want the story. Vladimir Orlov was an enigma. Born to a struggling single mother in the outskirts of Driemore, he had a knack for getting what he wanted. As a child, he sold counterfeit designer watches at school, convincing classmates they were genuine. By the time he reached university, he had become a ghost in the digital underworld, creating fake identities and running small-scale online scams. His charisma was his greatest weapon. He had piercing gray eyes that seemed to see through people and a smile that could disarm even the most skeptical. When he spoke, it was as if the world stopped to listen. But beneath the charm was a man driven by an insatiable hunger for power and wealth. Among Ethereal's earliest investors was Eleanor Bryce, a retired schoolteacher who had spent her life saving for a comfortable retirement. Her son, Adrian, had introduced her to the world of cryptocurrency, calling it the future of money.
"Mum, this is our chance to be ahead of the curve," Adrian had said, his excitement contagious. "Ethereal is the next Bitcoin." Eleanor hesitated but eventually invested £20,000, her entire nest egg. She wasn't alone. Thousands of people from all walks of life poured their savings into Ethereal, trusting in its promise of astronomical growth. For months, the value of Ethereal soared. Vladimir's carefully orchestrated publicity stunts and fake testimonials created the illusion of success. On social media, influencers raved about their newfound riches, their posts amplified by bots that Vladimir had deployed. It was a house of cards built on lies, but to the world it was a fortress of gold. Things began to unravel when Marcus Thorn, a renowned tech journalist, started investigating Ethereal. Marcus was known for his relentless pursuit of the truth, and he wasn't convinced by Ethereal's meteoric rise. "Something about this doesn't add up," he told his editor, poring over Ethereal's white paper. "The blockchain is supposed to be transparent, but their transactions are opaque. It's like looking at a magic trick and knowing there's a catch." Vladimir's carefully curated empire faced its first challenge. Marcus's article, titled "The Mirage of Ethereal," raised critical questions about its legitimacy. While many dismissed him as a cynic, his words planted seeds of doubt. One evening, Eleanor received an email from Ethereal promising a special bonus for loyal investors. The email urged her to reinvest her returns for unprecedented gains. Excited, she clicked the link and transferred her funds, unaware that this was Vladimir's final push to extract as much money as possible before the inevitable collapse. Meanwhile, Adrian stumbled upon Marcus's article, "Mom, we need to talk," he said, panic in his voice. "I think Ethereal might be a scam." "Don't be ridiculous," Eleanor replied. "I just reinvested my returns. Everything's fine." But everything was far from fine. Behind the scenes, Vladimir was preparing to disappear. He had funneled the millions he'd stolen into offshore accounts and created a new identity. The moment the first major withdrawal request came in, Ethereal would implode. The crash came swiftly. Overnight, Ethereal's value plummeted to zero. Investors who tried to withdraw their funds were met with error messages. Panic spread like wildfire as people realized they'd been duped. Eleanor's world crumbled. "How could I have been so foolish?" she sobbed, clutching her empty bank statement. Adrian felt a crushing guilt for encouraging her to invest. Marcus Thorn's exposé gained traction, and authorities launched an investigation. But Vladimir was already gone, leaving behind a trail of shattered dreams and unanswered questions. Months later, Marcus received a package. Inside was a handwritten note. "Trust is the ultimate currency. Spend it wisely. V." Alongside it was a USB drive containing evidence of Vladimir's operations. It was a taunt, a challenge to catch him if they could. Eleanor joined a support group for victims of financial fraud, finding solace in shared pain. Adrian vowed to fight back, dedicating himself to raising awareness about scams. As for Vladimir Orlov, he was last spotted in a luxurious villa in an undisclosed location, sipping champagne and planning his next move. The world may have caught on to his tricks, but he was already devising a new illusion. And so, the story of the cryptocurrency con artist became a cautionary tale. A chilling reminder of how greed and manipulation could turn dreams into nightmares. Trust, after all, is a fragile thing, easily broken and seldom repaired.